I'm not joking, right? But when he pulled it out, it was so. Oh, hello. Welcome to Not Another Leeds podcast with me. Finished fourth in podcasting school. I'm joined by three other people today, and Kev is regards as one of the best Pokemon trainers in the country. Hello, Kev. How are we?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, have you caught them all yet?
Only one thing actually, but we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure you got a cream for that. I'm
We're
sure.
still talking about Pokemon.
How do you get Pikachu on a bus? Your Pokemon. I'm here all week. And then we've got Jay. We've got tonight's Mad Hatter. How are we, Jay? Are we all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm knackered and not looking forward to this long walk I've got to do tomorrow for this this bloody charity thing that I've been roped into. But I said no initially, and they bullied me. And then after they bullied me, Luke dropped out. I'm not happy, but I'll be there and I'll do it. And if anyone wants to contribute to my suffering, there's a link on our Ought to Know Better Twitter to the Just Giving.
And at the end of the episode, I will put it in the comment section, the description below. My brain does not want to brain today. And we have the Queen of the Peacocks herself, Evie. How are we, Evester?
And you see, you missed a great trick because you're all on about Pokemon, and my name's literally Evie.
I know, but which personalities turned up tonight, Evie? Because there's multiple Evies, isn't there?
Well, there is one for every day of the week. You always get the fight. You always get the feisty Friday one, though.
Yeah, the fiery one. That's it. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks everyone for asking. It's just
Kev did ask.
I know, but you two didn't. It's rude if you ask me.
I didn't know we all needed to.
No. Welcome back. And obviously we've all been on here before. Welcome to everyone who's watching and will be watching. Please smash that like and subscribe button if you like complete nonsense. Right. So, before we go, there's no sponsor this week. However, I am delighted to announce we're in partnership with Nike in England because have you seen all the controversy with the collar? It's not as good as you think. Don't worry. We've got some merch dropping soon. And here it is. How do you feel about that? Yeah, I've sorted it. But what's coming out next week? If you keep special edition, all three of us on back of there. Look, dude, no problem. You can get in the comments. #NALP34. You get your special edition. Right then, Evie, I saw your eyes lit up there with the three others on the back of the collar. Is that something you're interested in?
Oh yeah. Well, the problem is I'd never be able to wear it because I just have to, stand there and stare at it all the time. Drooling.
Try and scratch it off. Is that what you're saying?
No. Yeah. Just get a little 2p out and just see if I can.
Are you saying that? Would you put it on a dartboard and become littler? Just in my face all the time. Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna make no comment there.
Okay.
I think you missed the trick there when you could have put something free lions on a shirt, free idiots on a shirt or something there. That could have been pretty good in there, don't you think?
To be fair, nobody will recognise Danny because I've never seen you without a hat on.
Yeah,
they're a bit weird.
There's a reason for that, Jay. There's a reason for that because my hairline goes as far back as the Roman Empire. Right, enough about me. So we'll talk about Millwall and their confused fans because some of them thought that Nonto deserved to get sent off. But we'll start with you, Evie. How were you feeling after the Millwall? How were you feeling going into the Millwall game? Obviously, I know it was a while ago, so dig deep into that brain.
Yeah, I'll try. I was nervous, I'm not going to lie. It was one of those games that was definitely had the likelihood of being a bit of a banana skin one. And, is it Neil Harris as well? Obviously, he's pure Millwall kind of thing. And they were going to win the league and all of that because they were just going to bullshit their way up as far as their fans were concerned. And as far as the media was concerned, they were like, can they handle, Neil Harris's Millwall and all of this? So I was a bit, kind of fed into a bit of the propaganda surrounding it all. And I was nervous because they did hack away at us in the reverse fixture early on in the season. So obviously now that we're kind of really near the end, we can't afford any injuries. So I just wanted us to, go well. I'm not saying I would have been happy with a draw, but if it just meant no injuries, that's all I was bothered about, is coming out with no injuries. But yeah, we deserved to win. They were just bully boy tactics, and I don't know how anybody can say that Nonto deserved a red card for that Cooper rugby tackle. It was like he was trying to invite him to bed kind of thing and not let him leave in the morning. He was just keeping on, grabbing hold. And the fact that the linesman did nothing as well was, what are they actually there for? If that's a blatant foul, foul upon foul upon foul, and he did nothing. I don't understand how he can, cash his check in after that game and say that he's earned anything, because he didn't do anything.
He actually ignored it.
Farcical.
He looked away from it on purpose. Like, it's here, and he's looking over here, and it's right next to him. He knows it's happening, but chooses not to look at it.
No, it was absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't quite believe. Well, I mean, this season has just been one shit show after another with refereeing. It's like, I've done a shit job, you've done a shit job. Hold my drink, I'll do it worse. And that's what it was. It was, the ref wasn't as bad as the linesman was. He wasn't great, and I'm sure we'll get onto that with the Rodon situation later on. But the fact that the linesman just kept on allowing, instead of waving his flag, furiously to get the ref over to, break up this little hug fest, he just allowed him to carry on.
Have you seen the linesman?
The first day of his steroid cycle for that ref, because he was a monster, wasn't he? Yeah, he's a juicer. He is. He's got big abs and somewhat small. That's what he's got. I'm telling you. He was
Popeye.
Yeah, he was sniffing spinach on the sidelines at halftime. That's what he.
It made me laugh how he sprinted between points when he made a decision, and he'd be off back there, and then he'd blow his whistle and do something. And he'd sprint like fuck back to the middle. I enjoyed that. Yeah. That was the only bit of his game that I did enjoy.
He needs to get his calories down, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Have you seen the picture of the linesman?
Go on.
Look, this is him. This is you have to sympathise with him.
I'm looking forward to this.
I mean, look at that.
Well, that's not the flex you think it is, Danny, because basically that guy could have seen what were happening next to him and looked up the pitch.
Well, you're watching both keepers, wasn't he?
Oh, okay.
They were their eyes.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, Jay, let's get your thoughts, buddy.
Oh man, I remember walking down the game, and I'm always nervous when it gets to these sort of points of the season, because any slip up's going to be punished now, innit? You just can't afford to put a foot wrong. This run we're on, you feel like it can't last forever, but you're hoping it will. And it's just, I didn't have any worries about Millwall as a side, because they're shite, man. They're absolutely shite. I was a little bit worried about the fact that they had their little run, they won a few games, and Neil Harris, he does like coming and upsetting Leeds, doesn't he? But I wasn't worried about them. I just always have that little doubt in the back of my mind, thinking, are we going to do a Leeds? Are we going to slip up? Are we going to I'm more worried that we'll do something to ourselves than teams like that will actually do something to us, if you know what I mean. Just
Joe Blackburn in the house.
Big JB.
Big JB's here. What about this then, Jay? Same lines when that Miss Rutter getting elbow to the face. Good to see the EFL being equal opportunity employers for the blind officials. It's a new scheme coming through.
Do you know what? I think by about the 10th game this season, I'd realised that the refs in this league are not bent. They're just really, really bad. Yeah. Same for the linos. We've had games where the ref's been awful for both sides, and then we've had games where the ref's been awful for us. And for some reason, Millwall fans seem to think that ref helped us out. Just like the Leicester fans thought we were helped out. Just like Huddersfield fans thought we were helped out. And I don't know what any of these people are watching. Maybe that's why the standard is so low in this league, if that's the opinions of the people that have spent a lot of time in this league. They think it's normal, it's all right. They're being good to us. We're all like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's just basic tribalism, innit? If anything, I think Leeds need to pay the refs a bit more because they're starting to get sloppy. Kev, what's your thoughts, buddy?
I was quite confident going into the game. I knew we would win. in my heart, I knew we'd win. But I thought Millwall would do something to stop us going to the top of the league. I mentioned this last week, didn't I? Saying that once we went 2-0 up, I thought they would score just so Leeds didn't go to the top. It's a Millwall thing to do. But I also agree with Jay as well. Some parts in that game, I think, oh my God, we're Leeds. Something bad's going to happen at some point. And we haven't had it this good in a long time. The way we're winning matches and results wise, it's just been really good. And I'm expecting us to get brought down to earth at some point. But well, hopefully Leicester will do that to themselves now with what's going on. So,
Kev, we don't concede, but you still think we're gonna?
Oh no, yeah, every time. I can't believe how good our defence is. I still think we're going to concede a goal.
It's years of heartache that's done this to us.
Yeah,
it's PTSD, or I said to Evie earlier, it's LTSD. We're so like, I don't know. It's like for the years, like fans in the top six say they don't understand what's going on. Like Chelsea fans, some of them they're talking about we need a rebuild. You've just spent nearly $1 billion. It's unbelievable the little bubble that they live in.
How do you rebuild a squad that's on 8-year contracts?
Exactly, mate. You'd have them working in cafe probably.
So some of them are good for by the looks of them.
Yeah. Evie, Cooper, he should have been off for me. I mean, I don't know. Like you mentioned it there, where he was wrestling like Greek warriors in the corner, and somehow this is where the Millwall fans wanted him sent off because of the elbow that Nonto did. But then if you look at Cooper just literally balances on him. I mean,
and it wasn't an elbow; it was his forearm. It wasn't his elbow. He was using him to say basically, "Get off me," which I think if you put that into any kind of rational human being, if you are literally, especially when he's, there was at least a foot and a bit height difference between the two of them, that, he was using his physicality to kind of belittle Nonto. And I'm sure he's used to that. And he kind of does suit the stereotype of, short man syndrome, where they all get, really angry and things like that. But, there's no wonder that he didn't even retaliate. He just pushed with his forearm, and he was being held back and smiling at him. I really can't stand it. That's one of the things, one of my pet hates, is when somebody does something. It's like the Ronaldo wink all over again kind of thing. I can't stand it when it's not just shithousing, because I don't mind shithousing. It's saying I've got away with one. I've got away with one. I know I've got away with one. It's not kind of just, it's not like clickhousery where, it was all done in jest. Danny.
Evie, what about short women syndrome? Danny comments.
Yeah.
Any comment on that, or no comment?
Well,
playing it safe?
The thing is when I walk into a room, that 9 times out of 10 I'm the smallest person in there, so I don't get short woman syndrome because I'm just genuinely so used to being short everywhere I go. The fact that my stepdaughter is now like 2 or 3 inches taller than me now, and she's 14. So
you're not short, you're just vertically challenged, like some of us.
Vertically challenged.
Don't know what you mean.
It's fine. I'm still shorter than all of you, so it's fine. Don't worry.
That's fine.
But yeah, Cooper, I think I tallied up about 5 yellow cards I think that he should have had, which obviously, if the referees are actually any good at counting, is usually when you're off the pitch after your second one. So I have no idea how he, stayed on the full length of the game. It was absolutely farcical. The same referee who sent Rodon off in the Hull game earlier on in the season for a first yellow card that should never have been a yellow card because he 100% got the ball, and the second yellow card, considering how weak, well, non-existent his first yellow card should have been, it shouldn't have been a yellow card for the second one. So he's just an absolute, they've just got no control. And then, it's like, oh, well, we're just letting things go. No, you're not letting things go. You've been lazy and you're getting paid to do nothing. Because if you're not, you're losing control of the game. And these players aren't trying to play football. They're trying to genuinely injure, which is, GBH. If you go out into the street and you do what the Millwall players were trying to do to our lots, you're going to get yourself arrested. So at least give them yellow cards. They shouldn't have had that option to swap 4 players who were on yellow cards with another, brand new 4 set of players. They should have been down to 10 men, bare minimum again. I don't know how many games we have to play where multiple players should be sent off. I'm not saying that we're angels, but you look, we have the least amount of yellow cards in the entire league. So we are literally clean Leeds, not dirty Leeds.
Well, more like, go on, Evie, have them. I tried listening to some of their podcasts, and it sounds like their accent just hurts them. When they're talking, it physically hurts them. All I can think of is, like like what's that? That chimney sweep language. Like. Jay, what was it like for you, mate? The ref. We'll talk about the. Before the goal, we'll talk about the physical assault on Joe Rodon. Because at one point, I'm sure it was inside him at one point. X-rated, but how that was not given as a penalty, it was beyond me, mate.
I can't get my head around that. The fact that the ref was stood where he was stood and he was looking directly at it as well, and he didn't give it. I mean, what part of that did the ref think was okay? Like, how did he justify that? He wasn't playing the ball. He took the man out and prevented him from going for the ball. That's a penalty. There's no other way to look at it. And stuff like that, I don't understand how nothing happens with it. I don't understand how a ref can look at it and think, unless he's got an agenda to do so.
Also handball as well.
Yeah. But that's another thing I've noticed. We never get them.
That's what it is. Just one of those. Who did a big blood sport knee on him. That's what it is. I'm telling you, that ref's an MMA fighter by the size of Lloyd. Boy, he just loved it.
Been booting concrete
on back.
Yeah. On back his helmet off him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we never get handballs against us. They never get given. We rarely seem to get pushes. Like, I've seen people get pushed right in back, nothing, and people just. Apart from the one guy at Hoods, people don't tend to get sent off when they should against us. It's just, I don't know what the refs are doing. I don't think it's bias entirely. I think they're just shit.
I don't think they know what they're doing.
I don't.
You can sort of forgive for the handball because it's behind the player. If VAR's there, then that's given as a penalty. But the fact that he's literally need him in close to his face, his chest area, it's not even got the ball. I mean, I was wondering what Sky, because I watch it on LUTV very legally, and I wanted to know what Sky, because I know that Joe went mental on this stream because he does live streams and that. Kev, were you shouting at your television as well?
Just a little bit. That was one of the most blatant penalties I've ever seen. It was as Evie would say, that was straight off GBH. That was terrible. Yeah, oh my god, it was like Lurch from the Adams Family just sticking his big knee out, hammering Joe Rodon right, and it's just disgusting. Sort it out, mate. That ref wanker.
I can't repeat what I was shouting.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting angry just thinking about it now, because imagine that would have been the penalty to put us top. That to make it 2-0 and we didn't get it. I'd have been raging, absolutely raging. So, yeah.
The ref probably went home and just played blasting raging techno, doing bicep curls in the mirror with nothing on, just radiators on full blast. You made a mistake, and he just punishes himself. That's the kind of guy he is. That's what I've heard anyway. Like
that big techno Viking that ran down the street like that, just go like that. That's what he does. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the podcast, everyone. We are random as FUCK. Right, we'll talk about the Nonto goal, Kev. Now. Wow, left foot again, straight away. For those of you that are regular watchers, Ellis was on a couple of months ago now, and he said, and I quote, I've even clipped it up and put it out there on our Instagram and social media. Ellis said his left foot is shit, and ever since he scored about 8 goals with it, or something like that. Foot, So I literally messaged Ellis straight away and said, Ellis in Wonderland. I mean, it's absolutely. Great stuff, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah. Yeah, I do like this Nonto redemption arc. He's got a good left foot. It was a great goal. He doesn't have to even have to play 90 minutes anymore. It just comes off for someone who has to score for him. Yeah, he's getting back in everyone's good books now, isn't he? And I swear, if we go up, if he keeps on improving, he's going to be great for us. I like Nonto, I really do, and I like the way he smiles and that when he scores too. Just brilliant. He's got the good feeling back in him, like he did when he terrorized Man United.
Looks like his old self.
Yeah, he does, and I think that's to do with the dynamic in the team. Farke bring him slowly back into the fold because he had a bit of an injury as well around just before Christmas too. Yeah, he's just coming back, and this run-in now, he could be really key, really like big now for us going into this run-in. It's mad though because Dan James was having a great season, and now he can't even get into the team. That just shows how well we're playing at the moment and how good of a team we've got. Because this squad that we've got now is better than the one that we had last year, I think, on paper.
It pisses all over last season's team. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but
and this team we've got now would stay up in the Premier League as well this year too. I firmly believe that by a mile with the manager that we've got and crap the Premiership is.
Well, if FFP did its job, we wouldn't be in this situation, according to some news sources. We'll talk about it in due time, Jay, and you can give them both barrels, mate. Yeah.
I shall.
Evie, has Nonto redeemed himself in your eyes, or is there still scar tissue there?
No, I think it was the Bristol goal that did it. I think that was kind of like a fresh start because I was very much of a if you don't want to be here, F off kind of thing. You know, I think that there's so many. It's not Leeds' fault that your agent wasn't good enough to get a release clause when every other bugger got a release clause put in their contract. So, you know, you can't blame the club for your agent not doing his job properly when we were just handing them out like soft sweets, throughout the last 2 seasons. So, yeah. And as well, you know, he was 19. I think he's just turned 20. So you're a 19-year-old playing in England. So get over yourself. You know, Italy isn't the team it once was. So if he hadn't have, behaved the way that he did at the beginning of the season, then maybe he would have got in the Italian, grown-up squad and not just the under-21s, regardless kind of thing, because he would have been playing all of the time anyway. Dan James wouldn't have got a sniff to start off with like he has done this season if Nonto hadn't behaved the way that he did at the beginning. But it was in the reverse fixture as well that Nonto got absolutely battered against Millwall, and then we played Hull directly after, and it was that game that he ended up having to come off injured because of the fact that he'd been, battered and received nothing. He actually played in the Millwall, the first one, really well defensively. He won us a lot of free kicks in our own area, so allowed us a bit of breathing space. So, he was starting to redeem himself a bit then, and obviously then he got injured. Dan James came into amazing form. So it kind of all just worked against him. So maybe we could have had this redemption a lot earlier in the season, but I wouldn't take away from what Dan James has given us this season. And he's never caused a fuss. We there was all the Swansea back and forth. He was here, then he wasn't, then he was here, then he wasn't. Then obviously went to Scum, eventually came to us. Then he was played in a position that wasn't his natural position, never complained. Yes, he wasn't great, but he just got on with it. Then we farmed him out to Fulham, who then didn't play him. Then he's come here, taken a pay cut, not complained, just got on with everything. And that's the kind of player that I want. And I feel that Nonto and Dan James kind of vying for the same position is a really good combination, because Nonto is technically a much better player than Dan James, but Dan James's character is superior at this moment in time to Willie Nonto. So I think that it's really good that those are the two people that are in direct competition, and the fact that both of them scored in the Millwall game is fantastic, and it makes you realise quite how lucky we now are that everybody is now coming into the right vein of form at the right moment, because earlier on in the season I've said, across multiple shows, the fact that we didn't have impact subs, game changers, somebody who can come off the bench from cold and just flip the game on its head. And now we've got that in several positions. We can bring Roberts on, take Kamara off, move Archie in the midfield, and all of a sudden it changes the whole dynamic of the way that we play. Whereas we didn't have that earlier on in the season because we didn't have, we had Luke Ayling, who was slaughtered every time he played this season at right back. And then obviously Archie moved there, which meant that we didn't have Archie to play in midfield because we needed him at right back. Whereas now we've got a far more balanced squad. You've got Firpo and Byram who happen to be, fit at the same time as well, which gives you depth at left back, which seems a bit weird as a Leeds fan saying that we have depth in a left back position. Especially when one of the depth is actually a right back. But I think Daniel Farke has done wonders with Willie Nonto. I really do. I think and I haven't seen it, but I've heard bits of it. The interview that he's done recently, saying that Bamford's been great with him, and Daniel Farke has encouraged him and kind of pushed him to progress and give him time and things. And Daniel Farke, if he doesn't get manager of the season, there's something really wrong with the EFL, because he's been the way that, yes, we had some, you could argue, a Premier League team, but that Premier League team had been battered for 2 years. So they weren't Premier League players, they were relegated. So they weren't Premier League quality, they were crap. But now, Daniel Farke has just breathed life back into him, which I think is so underrated as a skill, as a manager, to be a man manager. We haven't really had that, because even Bielsa wasn't a man manager. He was a fantastic, technician, and his tactics were brilliant. And then you had Jesse Marsh, and then, we just had chaos.
The entire fan base just shivered then.
Yeah. I know. I shivered myself, to be fair. I don't like mentioning his name anymore.
Like
I think
say his name.
He's had far too much airtime. I just wish he'd hurry up and get another job in whatever field, preferably away from the football field, but just get another job and stop talking about us. We just seem to be everybody's bloody cash cow, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I've seen today, Leeds United have tweeted, we're being televised for the 31st time this season. 31st time. And that's just ridiculous. More than any other team, surely.
It's outrageous.
Yes, Kevin.
I want to go back to Nonto for a second, because I just want to get this out there, so I'm not, if anybody knows. He's been called up to the Italy under-21 squad for this international break, but he would have been in the full squad. They need him, so it's Italian under-21s qualify for the major tournament. I don't know if anybody knows that. The manager came out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Squad. So that's how well he's playing for us. Yeah, that's a testament to how good he is, that they actually need him to go and get their other team over the line. So yeah, absolutely. Really good. That's amazing.
And he's in such a good vein of form as well, isn't he?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jay, I mean, we'll go on to the second goal. I mean, congratulations to Dan James as well. I think his baby was born in the past couple of weeks. So not only is he scoring on the pitch, he's consistently scoring off the pitch as well. Congratulations to Dan.
Fast child, isn't it? That's going to be one fast child. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right? When I saw that tweet, it said a number of Leeds United players were expecting babies this week. And I thought, what kind of party was this 9 months ago? Yeah. But anyway, that's for another episode.
A big ball of khaki that day, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll know if it runs fast. Right. Yeah. So Dan James, like Evie elaborated on there, like DJ's been really good. And he scored for the Welsh team. I couldn't really understand them because they were speaking Gareth Bale-ish. But, what's your thoughts on old DJ this season, mate?
Yeah, bang on. He's come back. He's got the right attitude. He's not complained or tried to get out of the club. He's wanted to be here and play, and he's shown it. And he's had his best season for us so far. He's had something like, is it like 20 goal involvements or something now? Or
it's crazy,
19 assists he had or something, and something like 6 or 7 goals or something. And he had like 11 assists in the entire of the last season that he played for us. So he's stepped up in all departments, including off the pitch. And he's just on fire. It's you never would have clamoured for him to start in the past, but he's someone now that when he doesn't start, you're a little bit disappointed and you feel it's a bit harsh on him because he has shown that he will contribute and he is going to get involved and good stuff does come from him this season. I'm really impressed with him. It's his attitude mostly. He's just obviously his head's in the right place and he's got his head down and he wants to do it for Leeds.
The thing is, like, we were such a shambles last season that we nearly Dan James, because he went to Fulham, and at one point we were going to say, right now, you're not going. I mean, even the fans on deadline day, because I think it's just when we signed Nonto, didn't we, instead? Because Bamford Dieng didn't even choose his in-flight meal and didn't bother getting on the plane.
Even though Rad's announced him.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But the fact, and it's like he's still come back to Leeds. He's dropped down this league and he's actually taken it by storm. I think he'll do well for us if we go up, or when we go up to the Premier League. Joe has put a comment here. And he says he's been so good this season. He's scored as many goals in 23-24 as the entire rest of his senior career combined. I said it midway through the season. This will be the best season of his career. Do you think, Ken?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with everyone else saying that under Farke, he probably could be a lot better in the Premier League than he has been consistent minutes. Playing on the right as well. I mean, I honestly don't remember him playing on the right for Leeds hardly any games, if I'm being honest. Because obviously at the time we had Rafinha there and it just never got that. But when he's over there, he's obviously technically Nonto's better, but that the goals that he's getting now where he's chasing down defenses when he's doing that high press, he even saw it last night for Wales. He's this isn't a derogatory to him, but he's a right weapon, but in a good way, you know. He's like just an absolute shit off a stick rocket.
It's the last man a slow fullback wants to see, isn't it?
Yeah. Or if Smarty were here, he would say he's a good utensil.
He would, and then he'd probably call him a prick or a knob.
yeah. Very colourful language, the Smarty. Two players that I want to finish talking about during this game. Then, like Rutter's obviously after the game, we everything's dust settled. He's come out and said that he's been playing with a hernia. Now, Evie, I've never played with a hernia. I'm not sure I can spell it properly, but do you think he'd be all right? Do you think we'll miss him? Obviously, he's had to pull out the France under 21s because he's French, Evie.
Thanks for that.
Well, I'm just clarifying because we all know your history with internationals and guessing where they're from. But I'll be nice. Sorry, I'll be nice.
To be fair, with the new England shirt, I might not be able to tell what English players are anymore because I won't recognise the flag.
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
knows that's the flag of Oz. It's the flag of Oz. That's what it is. You see, everyone knows. Yeah,
exactly. Just to say, right? I'm going to present you a theory, Evie.
Okay.
Even Farke choosing, because he's no doubt they'd have known about this. Farke choosing to play Rutter over Perot in the 10. What does that say?
It says you flog your best 11 until you have no other physical possibility, really. And we play better with Bamford leading the line and with Rutter with the supply kind of thing. So you just have to do it. And as well, it's only a single hernia, which is slightly better. Obviously everybody's got a little bit of, we're a bit scarred with the whole Strauch situation, but that was a double hernia. And apparently I think he was playing from basically the beginning of the season with this hernia. So whereas it's not the same for Rutter. So I think that the recovery time is going to take far less for Rutter than for Strauch. So I am hopeful, but I also wouldn't rush him back. I think that Nonto can play in that number 10 role effectively. He kind of did last season. Was it I think it was the Bournemouth goal. It was either Bournemouth or Fulham, where Nonto slid Somerville in from that kind of number 10 role.
Yeah.
Was it the Bournemouth one? Yeah. And so I think he can do that. And as well, I prefer when Dan James is on the pitch for Bamford, because Dan James crosses a lot more, and Bamford knows where Dan James's crosses are roughly going to end up. So he can, Dan James can do a no-look cross and Bamford will be there, because they play far better with each other than Nonto. Not because Nonto's a bad player by any means, but Nonto likes to cut in and take the shot himself, whereas Dan James is the delivery boy kind of thing. He wants to get the number 9 the ball, and if he has to, he'll go himself, and he has a lot more composure this season than we've ever witnessed from him before. But yeah, I think Rutter being out, I don't want to rush him back, but obviously I want him back as soon as possible, all at the same time. But I think that we can cope for a couple of games without him if we've got Nonto in that number 10 role.
Yeah, be nice. Hopefully we get through this international break with no injuries. All 4 of our Welsh lads played last night. Jay, just your quick thoughts on Somerville, mate. Do you think he's been carrying a knock, according to rumours?
He keeps icing his ankle, doesn't he, when he comes off? He's on the bench, so there's obviously something not quite right. His game's changed a bit as well recently. He's
desperate for a goal, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not running at people as much as he was either. He keeps he receives the ball and then waits for him to come to him before he tries to do something. And normally he's at his best when he's flying at people, getting past them and doing little 1-2s and just like that. Doing little 1-2s and getting into box and stuff, and getting into shooting positions. That's what I want to see from him. He looked a little bit more like himself against Millwall, I thought. Like he did a little bit more of what he'd been doing before. But the problem with Somerville is you never really get a bad game out of him. It's just that his standards so high that, like, if he gives you a 7, you're like, he's not done so well today. Whereas, he'll be consistently up there. It's just he can be so much better. And we've seen that so much from him this season. That's what we kind of expect of him now.
Is it just fatigue, do you think? Just catching up a little bit?
There's got to be some in there, yeah. But as I say, he's been icing his ankle as well. So he's probably running in pain and he's just trying to get on with it. Yeah. But I don't know. Speculating now, but it makes sense.
Yeah. So all in all, it was a comfortable 2-0 win at Ellen Road against the Southern Lion lover chocolate-sponsored buggers, who I've seen their social media. Some of them were just like, they're making it hard for Millwall to come up. Because Leeds United had the power to change the kickoff time, and do you know what I mean? It just did not make sense.
I saw that. It's nothing to do with us.
Yeah, nothing to do with us. Apparently, it was our fault. Do you know what I mean? And they were expecting like crowds of Leeds fans just to throw stones at them like they did back in the day. Like that. And they were like, we are Millwall, we don't care. But you do care because you were in my mentions. And I'll show you for why. Brace yourself. So I put a tweet off, top of the league, easy 3 points. And I showed this badge. Millwall. And as you can imagine, I had to... my notifications were going a bit red hot.
Jesus Christ. So, could I just show you something Millwall related, Danny?
Yes, of course.
If it'll let me do a screen share, because it's giving me the option.
Yeah.
I put this in our group chat because it's a Millwall podcast, and it's just the picture that they've used, man. It blows my mind. It just absolutely blows me away.
I saw it, mate. Yeah.
I'll let you add it in, mate.
Here we go.
It's like a lineup. It's like when you see a news story about a gang that's been jailed. It's like that's what it looks like.
Every one of them a white privileged male. Have you noticed that? Especially look at the little
Apart
child.
From Asian
the
dude.
little child. The guy on the far left looks like a thumb with eyes.
The guy in the middle looks like someone's granddad or something that's just sat on a fucking plug or something. It's like, what's going on?
How can we get that many people to talk in just 5 minutes as well? That our videos for.
I know, yeah.
The Cockneys do speak a little bit.
On
the right as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. I couldn't watch after I saw that. I just said that was enough for me, that picture.
They look like they should have, when you have your mugshot done and there's the the height thing going up the side of how tall each of these. That's what they all kind of look like, especially the small ginger child.
Yeah, bless him. It looks like he's been like held at gunpoint or something.
One guy looks like he's
you
in
will
bed.
go on, and you'll tell them that you ate them northern gits. You know what I mean? Yeah, get your chimney brush. Right, let's stop doing that because I will get into trouble. And I'd like to make it to episode 40 if I could. Right, so if you are new and it's that time where we play Guess the Player. Now, Evie, are you ready? Jay, are you ready?
Can I go like second or third?
Yeah, of course. I feel like that guy from Gladiators. Number 1, are you ready? It's not a very good Scottish accent. But if you're new here, how the Guess the Player does work is I will show an image of a player with his head with a box on it, and you will try and gather the information and see what you can get from that. And it's only for 5 seconds, and you've got to guess the player. To date, there has not been a winner. Right, so are you ready?
Is he young Millwall ginger child by any chance?
No. Right, so this is your clue. Who is this player? Now, I give you a clue. I've seen it without the box on. So that's your clue. Obviously, if you look at the kit, it's old school. I'll give you a clue. The year's like 2008, 2009 season. Who do you think it is? Evie, I'll come to you last so you can try and work out what kit it was. I'm sorry, Evie. I'm being really mean. I don't know why. Kev, who do you think it is, mate?
I'm going to go with all-round good guy and excellent TV personality, Keith Chegwin.
Keith Chegwin. Right, that's a good shout. Guess. And I'd like to see everyone's theories or guesses in the comments. Please get them in so we'll go through with them. I don't know. My England is broken. Jay, who do you think it is, sir?
I'm going to go for Ronald McDonald making his much anticipated Premier League debut.
I tell you what, that's a good shout. That's a very good
really,
shout.
Really good shout.
Hold on, I've just got to do some quick editing. Evie, come on then, let's have a guess. Who do you think it is?
Eamon Holmes.
Ooh. Can you do his accent?
No, I'm not gonna try because he's Northern Irish.
Northern Irish, yeah. Sit down now. Right, so let's go through the comments. We've got Pablo Escobar from Einar. Hello, Einar. Good to see you, mate.
That's a perfect name for a nightclub. I've just saw that. Pablo Disco Bar. I would go there.
Oh, sorry, Disco Bar. I saw it as Disco Bar.
There you go. When you open your bar in Benidorm, Kev.
Yeah.
2 of diamonds. We've got, John Walters, Peter Crouch. Very good guess. We've got it's Toad from M64 version of Super Mario Bros. Joe, that's not bad. 3 meter Peter. That's a good shout. If I say that word, my table will start levitating. Let's have a look here. Rory Delap, you know, he's taking it. We've got. Can you say this name, Kev?
Cormac Starkerson.
Starks. Oh, he did the accent as well. Go on, Kev.
Iceland is not in Scandinavia, by the way. Just letting everyone know that.
Right. So, I'll put you out of your misery. So this is what you saw, right? And I'll have you know, he was a movie star in the 80s, an absolute machine. It's Johnny Five from Short Circuit. He had a great season at Stoke, and you know, he had a good throw on him. You know what I mean?
Did you say that he scored?
Yeah, just not enough input. Yeah.
It's what you got. Circuits and all that. Robot pun. Sorry, Evie, I didn't hear you laughing.
Ha ha ha.
You sound like a robot. Ha ha. So we'll go into some news before we'll do 45. Somehow we've done 45 minutes of just gibberish.
I have no idea how.
Yeah, it's called a forfeit podcast school, mate. You know what I mean?
I'm professional in this.
Yeah. So we'll come to you, Jay, mate. Have you seen the Nonto comments that have come out? He's been praising Bamford. He's been saying that people don't really realise it as much, but he opens the channels for us and he makes them runs and he plays better up front. Obviously, that's saying stuff about Pyro, isn't it? But Bamford ever since Bamford's come back into the team, he has to start, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, you were saying before about why is Farke put Georgie into the 10, and it's simply because we've realised we need Bamford on the pitch at the moment, and he's only effective if he's up front. So that means you need Georgie as well because he's your main chance creator. So you've got to find something that fits, and that's what fits. I'm glad to see it. To be fair, I didn't think Bamford would ever score a goal for us again at one point. I thought he was done. I thought that were it. I genuinely, I'd written him off. I didn't want to see him play again. I were happy for him to go wherever, and yeah, he's completely proved me wrong, and I'm glad he has.
He looks a lot leaner though, doesn't he? As well, he looks in shape. Bamford does. He looks in good shape.
He wasn't properly fit last time he played last season. He wasn't right.
No. Well, staying on Bamford, he's been doing some Muay Thai, and do you know how I know that? Because he's spoken on the podcast about his goal that he didn't elbow in, and he's admitted that it touched his arm and went in. So I have to apologise to the Rotherham fans that I kind of went into with both barrels. But however, there's one Rotherham propagandist, and he was saying that Bamford's a cheat, he's a degenerate, it's worse than doing cocaine. And that is not that's not paraphrasing. That's exactly what he compared it to, didn't he, Kev?
Jesus Christ.
Pablo Disco by, that's where he was. No, but no, I just everyone's been calling Bamford a cheat for years. Villa 2019, Begovic this season. He's just a tough, looks down on the lower class. That's it. He's sound. Just let him
do as I say and not as I do.
Yeah, exactly. He gets to read his tweets to him, just leave him alone. God's sake, man. He's our Bamford.
I love how you...
Got to agree with Jay. I don't think he'd score a goal ever again, honestly, I swear. I thought he was dead and buried. And I've said this many times. But again, he's every player we've had over the past 3 years, 4 years, has always said that we're a better team when Bamford plays. And we didn't believe it, or we did believe it, and then we didn't believe it. Every player comes out and praises Patrick Bamford. So what do we know, eh?
Yeah. I love all the facts that you went, everyone does it. Like, it's not cool anymore just to bash Bamford. You know what I mean? I thought that was really funny. Good for you, Kev. We're talking about moving on. If you've been living under a rock, Leicester have been found guilty of FFP breaches. Now, Evie, that makes Forest, Everton, and now Leicester, 3 teams above us that have now been caught, found guilty of FFP breaches. Does it make you want to get a bit of jam and throw it at someone? I don't know. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like jam anyway, so I definitely wouldn't want the jam anywhere near me.
You're a marmalade sort of lady, Evie, are you? I'm guessing, yeah.
A marmalade?
No.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, that's really bad. I appreciate that one. No, I like just butter. I don't like sweet things on savoury things. Like, my taste buds can't handle it, so I can't do it. No, I love croissants and pastry, and I love chocolate, but I can't have them together.
Not a bit of Marmite, no?
No.
You love it or you hate it?
Yeah, I'm severely indifferent to it.
Welcome to Not Another Pastry Chat, and on tonight's show, we're talking about pastries.
But back to the point, it makes me annoyed, but at the same time, it makes me annoyed for 2 different reasons. It makes me annoyed because we didn't cheat, and we should have just gone out and cheated, because then apparently, all the Leicester fans, Locks, people like that are all saying, we'll just take the points deduction next season. There's no actual they're not bothered about the fact that they've cheated, and about the fact that, they have done, all of the clubs, when you go up to the Premier League, you agree to these conditions of these rules, and this money is set out. So the expectations when you go into the league. So it's not like somebody's kind of blindfolded them and then chucked them and they're on the edge of a cliff and they have to decide what to do next. They're all fully aware of what's going to happen. So But what does annoy me kind of even more is the fact that all of the the EPL and the EFL and all these governing bodies are just making things up on the fly. How come not Forest have been prosecuted for breaking FFP when they've only actually been in the Premier League for one full season? Why are they being charged for things that happened in the EFL when Aston Villa haven't been charged for they've already been told that they're going to have sanctions if they drop down back into the EFL. So how come Villa haven't been prosecuted or had anything happen to them in the Premier League when there's already sanctions waiting for them if they go back into the EFL, but yet Forest have been sanctioned for things that did happen in the EFL and in the Premier League, but only one season? Chelsea have spent 500 million in one season. They spent $1 billion over what 3-4 transfer windows. How is that actually possible? They haven't made as much profit because they haven't been in Europe for the last 2 years. So I don't understand how some of these clubs can get away with it, and then some of these clubs that are up in the Premier League, back down in the Championship, up in the Premier League, they're just making stuff up. I don't understand how you can charge Leicester in the EFL for things that happen in the Premier League, but you can't charge Villa for things that happened in the EFL, and then you can charge Forest for things that happen in both. Every individual club seems to have their own rules that they have to adhere to. So there's no wonder that nobody has not a clue of how to stick to these rules, because they just change like the river. Like they're just, they ebb and flow, and you've no idea what you're actually supposed to be adhering to. And it does really seem like, there's only been, it seems like there's just one set of rules, and I hate to take it back to the whole Man City thing because I'm not comparing, but how come Leicester can be, it happened less than a year ago and they're already, been found guilty of it, but then all of these 115 charges that happened 9-10 years ago still haven't been prosecuted? I don't understand the disparity. Why haven't they been working harder to get those ones done? Because it feeds into the kind of the propaganda and the kind of the rumor mill that Man City can get away with it because of the fact that they're owned by oil money, but yet the rest of us aren't owned by oil money. And then Newcastle, who again are the richest on paper club in the world, they can't get away with it either, but Man City can. And yet they're actually richer than Man City with a bigger fan base to start off with. Newcastle are a bigger club than Man City are. You take that oil money away, Man City are not where Man City are now. So all of these things really annoy me because it just distracts from the actual game. We just want to watch football, but you find yourself rooting for other clubs to get point deductions instead of just wanting for your team to play good football. You're rooting for all of these other teams in and around you to have sanctions in order for you to get that desperate, need for the Premier League, which is just a pile of crap. If let's face it, we had one good season, but we had 2 seasons of utter crap. Joe Blackburn did a quiz with Joe Wayman the other day, and we beat 12 clubs in 2 years. Yes, we beat a couple of them multiple times, but 12 clubs, we managed to get wins against in the last 2 years in the Premier League. Is that competitive? No, it's not. So I want these people to sort out all of their financial crap so that we as fans can just watch the football and not have to root for the downfall of another person's club for our club to stay relevant. It's just money making, and money just makes everything toxic within football, within life in general, but specifically within football.
It does, yeah. I mean, you see players that have no loyalty anymore. They're just all mercenaries at the end of the day. Jay, I don't know if you've seen it's not much we can talk about really, more than Leicester. I think Evie covered it all.
Sorry.
But no, it's all right. If you need any financial advice, please check out Evie's channel soon. Jay, obviously, I don't know. I keep saying obviously. Sorry. Have you seen the things about Brendan Aronson today? He's been getting absolutely rinsed. Now? He's been getting absolutely rinsed by the USFT fans. They're turning on their own, bit of cannibalism. and he's just not having a good time at all. I didn't think he got called up unless someone's dropped out.
I thought he wasn't called up too, so someone must have dropped out because he definitely wasn't in the squad initially. I'm sure I heard that. They were saying about how crap it was going for him at Berlin and stuff.
It is crap. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
scored
it's like it's our fault he was shit as well. You know, the way that they are as well. But yeah, I did. Yeah, I watched a clip of him earlier. Apparently, it's like someone's knocked a ball into a box and he's just pointed at it, looked at the ref, and just not chasing the ball. He's just
bear in mind that,
and then fell over.
Yeah, he
didn't have his ankle weights on.
Still know that man.
I just can't deal with him. And the USMNT bunch, it's nice to see him turning on him because that means they're going to have to admit that we were right all along.
Like
because
vindication,
he is
isn't
crap.
it?
Yeah. And all this, they wind me up more than any other fan base has ever wound me up, I think.
They're so... I don't know.
You're a xenophobe. Like, no, we're not. We love the foreign players we've got. We just don't like shit ones. And the American ones happen to all be shit.
I think they don't help their own stereotype, do they? The ignorant, non-native, can I say? You know, like because obviously we've grown up football. It's our heritage in a way, and it's something that they've adopted. And what I'm trying to say is, they know fuck all about football sometimes, and to see them turning on their own players. Bear in mind, in the 94th minute, they were 1-0 down to Jamaica, and they went on to score 3 more to win 3-1 in extra time. Yeah,
there are some good American football fans, you know, the ones that actually support clubs, you know, the ones that actually support the clubs in America.
Yeah.
The ones that support players and
just the national team.
Yeah, they support Christian Pulisic. They don't support Milan or Borussia
the American Messi.
Yeah, they support individual players, and I mean,
LeBron James of American football. Is that what you mean? American soccer.
Can't tarnish them all with the same brush, but they are those. It's the ones that support the individual players that only support the American national team. I find that a bit strange, but I guess it's football upbringing, isn't it? And we've all been obviously quite indoctrinated because football's a religion in this country. I know people hate it when you call stadiums church, but we all go to one place on a weekend and all go together and we pray for a win. That's how we treat it here. It's a fairly new sport over there, and it's a bit strange, but they'll come around one day, I reckon.
One thing that has annoyed me when you see all of, Weston McKennie, Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams, they all say that obviously like last year was like a terrible year and this, that and the other, but none of them have actually apologized, owned up to their own crapness. And, they've just said, the club was in a state behind the scenes, or this was wrong, or that was wrong. They've not actually said, I wasn't up for the fight. I didn't, I wasn't at my best. I haven't done that. I think Weston McKennie is slowly starting to get to that point, but he's gone so far down, basically saying, well, I came in and just, I was only under Jesse Marsh for one game and then he was gone and that was it. My entire kind of plan had all, gone to pot. Like nobody actually admitted that they were unfit. Nobody admitted that they were weak and pathetic. Nobody admitted that, that they and they did. They were crap. None of them were good players. Tyler Adams was the best out of the three of them, but he's been injured now for a year. He's played less than 90 minutes in a year. He played 20 minutes in the Carabao Cup, then got injured for a further 6 months, and then played some minutes for Bournemouth the other day. And I think they're actually now saying that he's possibly injured again from that very game. And obviously, Sinisterra's now injured as well. So we've got about 45 million for two players that have played very little football this year.
That was going to be my
Adams wasn't even that good. It was the breaking up play that he did really well.
Yeah.
He's diabolical.
And that's not just us being like, whatever, he's rubbish anyway. That is like his genuine game. There's something called the halo effect where because you like them, you don't see the bad things about them. Psychology 101. I do
big tackles, didn't he? And Usley love big tackles. He just
won the ball back, then lost it with a shit pass.
Yeah, that time he kicked the ball at that draw at Newcastle where he kicked it. Was it Jacob Murphy? He kicked it, and everyone looked at that as well. And I guess it was just glossing over how much of a bad side we were last year as well. But I mean, I wanted Adams to stay. I really did. I thought him and Ampadu would have been awesome in the midfield. But yeah, we've got better now. Just bugger off, mate. They now you've all got legs like pipe cleaners, haven't they? Him and Sinister.
But it's mentality as well. You can make up for so much skill. Bielsa taught that as well, because basically, other than like Rafinha, nobody's actually gone on to do much else since Bielsa's gone. Look at Phillips, unfortunately. So, the mentality side of things and how much you're willing to commit yourself to the cause, you can overcome natural talent by hard work and determination and an actual desire to want to be somewhere. And you can't, I'm not saying I don't blame the players last season, but if they all know that they've got these relegation release clauses, they're protecting their assets, their legs and their bodies, because of the fact that they want that move. And if Bournemouth are that thick that they can take Tyler Adams when he was already injured and had been for 7 months by this point, more fool them, absolutely. No problem with that whatsoever. We will happily take your money for a player that you're not even going to have a quarter of a season out of, not even like an eighth of a season out of.
I think the last 2 seasons has really took out of us, hasn't it? Really, as Leeds fans.
I'm so bitter and twisted towards anybody who has any footballing aspirations.
Look at me, I'm 17 years old, right? And this is what Leeds United does. Okay, this is what it is. Yeah, but I mean,
I've just finished school.
Yeah, even now we're still pinching ourselves where we are and where we come from before January, and the going back, looking back at these players now that we're talking about last year, we were terrible last year, and the reason Tyler Adams looked good is because everything that we did was in the middle of the park, and he just went and booted them all out from underneath them. So,
and everyone else was really shit.
Yeah.
But how do you expect these players to fight and stay up when none of them had anything at stake? They all knew they could just leave. It didn't mean anything to them. There was no consequence. None of them were like, oh, God, might have to play in Championship next season. They were just like, oh, well, we'll be gone if it don't work out.
But that's the mentality. You look at Rafinha, he had nothing to play for either. It would have been easier for him to go to Barcelona had we have got relegated. And he dragged us over the line in the last few games, and then he literally crawled on his knees in front of an away side at the last game of the season, and he was in there knowing that he wasn't going to be there, but he can leave knowing that we were exactly where we were when we got him. We were in the Premier League, and that mentality, you can't put a price on that mentality, because we paid over the odds for every single person bar Willie Nonto last season, and give me Rafinha over all of them put together, because his mentality, you even take the skill out of it, his mentality of wanting his dream move to Barcelona and putting that in jeopardy in order for us to stay up, that's the kind of player that you want.
Definitely.
Exactly, I agree. You've touched on it there, Evie. We've recouped a combined 45 million for biscuit knees and lettuce ankle, if that's what you want to call them. He's now injured. Yeah. Iriola said it was 4 to 5 weeks of hamstring injury, so I think that's him done for the season. Hashtag back stronger for him, I think. And just to touch really quickly, Archie Gray scored in his debut for the under-21s. He needs to calm down because he's getting really good now, and the vultures will circle us. So all in favour of starting a Archie Gray protection group? Say aye.
Aye.
I'm in.
Yeah, right, okay.
He's not even good anyway. If you watch
he's crap.
He's terrible.
Terrible.
It's just pure nepotism.
Worse. His brother's even worse. Don't bother looking at the Grey boys.
Yeah.
Just a bad family.
All the DNA. Yeah.
Shit genes.
Like the Mackay family.
Yeah, they nick your catalytic converters and that. Leave them to get them away.
Yeah, they've got nits. Leave them alone. So, Archie Gray. I mean, right quick, Kev. I mean, we are pressed for time, so I do apologise. He's just going to go all the way, isn't he, Kev?
He's going to go very, very far. I already picture him and a certain dude in our central midfield time in 4 years at the next, probably even 2 years at the next World Cup. I can honestly see it. He's got everything, and that goal that he scored today was composure. The first touch as well, with his left foot to bring it out and slot it in, absolutely fantastic. He even started the move as well, the sprinting all the way up the pitch. Brilliant. Yeah. He's going to go far, and hopefully it's with us. I think with Archie Gray, it's a little bit different to all these youngsters that come through and get picked off, because there's an investment there with him and his family, isn't it, as well? So long may he stay forever. Yeah.
Archie Gray, he makes me feel brilliant. Sorry, I've had that in there for a while, haven't I? Cheesy peas. A certain demographic will remember the fast show and how great it was. Right, so we are pressed for time. I do apologise for keeping everyone over the hour, but we've got 2 segments left. If you are new here, hang on, we're nearly there. Right, so this next segment is called Top Knob, and what we do is we nominate people and put them in the middle. I'm the casting vote to take it thing. So what we'll do is we will start by getting the jingle on, shall we? So let's get into this week's Top Knob.
Top Knob.
This jingle in the game. Right, Evie, I'll come to you last. Kev, who's your Top Knob of the week? Please make sure.
I'm going to butcher this because I've been thinking about this for last week. I'm going to go for Mr. Pimpleback, Roid Raging, Conor McGregor himself, the referee from the Millwall game. Yeah, I'm going to go with him. Yeah, he's a shitbag. Yeah.
Have you wrote this down? Have you been that what you did earlier?
I can't write. I've got my stress reliever in my hand.
Isn't Mill brilliant? Oh, I knew that'd go down a storm. Jay, who's annoyed you this week?
I probably would have gone for the same thing as Kev. So all I can think of on the spot is that crazy-eyed referee's assistant instead. That shit liner. I'll pick him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is. All crazy eyes.
Oh, do you know what? The way he just looked. Who was it that kicked the ball off the pitch? He just went like that.
Yeah,
that was strange as shit. That was.
It literally hit him twice, and Lino just went, "Oh yeah, I'll just give it to Millwall, won't I?" Yeah. Right, Evie, who do you think, or who would you like to nominate for your top knob, toppest nobbus? They say.
I'm gonna go with Danny Mills for his comments on Ben White, and saying that he needed to be like a man and go and play for England, because he made some choice words about Ben White's decision to not join the England squad. So I think that sort of toxic masculinity has no place in today's society, where we are in a place where we want to teach all boys and men that it is okay to talk, and telling someone to man up is not a very productive way to get the best out of a person. So he is my top knob.
I think all valid points. I was going to nominate the Americans from, can I say the word town? The dog botherers, because they're talking about us again.
God, yeah. Their owner.
But he goes, that old team Fritzl. That starts with L and ends with DS. Have they got something against the letter E? I don't understand. How do they say their name? Huddersfield? Or Huddersfield? Because take the E's out. Do you know what I mean? I do not
maybe they just bark.
Yeah. Ruff. Right. I'm going to nominate. Go on, Kev. If you want to say something, mate.
That's all right. I've lost it now. Just leave me.
Yeah. That's what Millwall said on Sunday. Yeah. So do you know what? I'm going to nominate all of them this week because I'm in a particularly good mood. I can't say words properly. So all of these nominations, you are this week's top knob.
Top knob.
Right, we are into the last segment, and Jay, it's been a while since you've been on, and you don't know, but what I've done, I've built a supercomputer in the latest AI and the latest technology, and I'm not responsible for it because I think Skynet's got involved It flashed up.
I have seen this before, mate. I have seen this before.
Have you? Oh, right.
Yeah,
so you have signed the waiver, and anything goes at this point. So are you ready to see the NALP 3000? Evie's prepped for it. Yeah, you ready? So here we go. Beep boop beep.
Calculating. Question found. Would you rather fight Berardi once a year or a chicken every time you get in your car? Danny, I ordered that cream you need.
I don't know what to do to deserve this abuse from AI. I'm sorry. It's into adolescence. Right. So, Evie, would you rather fight Berardi once a year? I'll give you a sword if you want. Or would you like to fight a chicken every time you get into your car?
I'd rather fight Berardi once a year because I don't do chickens or birds and things, and I'm pretty scared of them. So I would never drive again if that was the case. So yeah, give me Berardi, because I actually think that once he saw I was like much smaller than him, that I think he'd actually be okay. And
So then, when he started going, you go, uppercut him.
Obviously, knock his beard off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go on then, Jay. What would you? Do you do birds?
Mate, I actually keep chickens myself.
Oh dear.
I have had several actual fights with cockerels. I've never had a fight with Berardi, and he's like a Terminator. So I would pick the cockfight. I would pick the chickens.
Nice. You'd be like Van Damme, wouldn't you? Like, and then just put it down. That's tea for later.
Do you know? I don't know if I could kill one unless I really, really had to. Like it were.
But you could punch one.
But yeah, you can give it a kick, and that when it tries to savage you.
I have to put a disclaimer out to the the RSPCA if you are watching, or Peter, if no animals were hurt during this is all hypothetical.
Hey, I'll tell you something, right? When you have a cockerel and it goes loony, because the ones that are good are the ones that will attack you. But the actual advice is to make yourself appear as a bigger bird. So I'm there like flapping my arms with the coat on, going, "Get away, you bastard!" Try to kick it. That's the official advice. Yeah.
Get away.
Get back, you bastard. I'll break your legs. So yeah, you have to flap around like a lunatic and like.
Can you imagine Can you imagine the bird's thoughts? Blimey. He's just called me a bastard. He must mean business. Kev, what would you want to do, mate? But instead of a sword, I'll give you nunchucks made of toilet roll bit.
Can I do both? Can I have both? Because I'd love to really do. And if I could fight Brady once a year, and then I could fight somebody that's smaller than me for the rest of all the time, then that would be fine, because then I can get my confidence back up each day after Brady kicks shit out of me. So
I'll make you a deal.
Do that. So I'll just run in and I'll just go douche douche to the chickens every day like that, and then get my car. Yeah, and then just training for Brady. Yeah, so douche douche like that straight away.
Make a deal. Basically. You can fight Berardi once a year by using chickens. How about that?
I'll train an army of John Wick style chickens to go against him. Then that's what I'd be doing.
Wickens.
Yeah, John Wickens. Yeah.
There you go. Right.
Why have I now got this like real like visual of kind of like Chicken Run of like all the chickens, like if you've ever seen it, where they go, the chickens are revolting, and they all come up and start attacking, and
Are you calling us the Tweedies? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to be I don't like being a chicken. I don't want to be in a
I don't like gravy.
I don't like gravy.
I could
right, thank you.
But the chickens could be dead, and I could be a necromancer, and I could have like an army of dead chickens to fight Berardi, and then go douche douche like that, and then send them out to attack him, and that the zombie chickens go mental, laying like zombie eggs and that. Yeah, that would be fine.
We've gone on a real tangent here, man.
Taking a dark turn.
Welcome to the Not Another Leeds podcast, Jay. I know you've been on before, but it took a right dive. He went off the cliffs last time you came on, mate. But that's
what I do to podcasts.
No, we love it here. We love it. Right, that brings us to the end of the podcast. I had more stuff written down, but I you know, Kev's got to do his tap dancing lessons sometime tonight. So I like to. We've got rehearsals, haven't we, for Limbs in the South Stand? I think we all meet up at this time on a Friday and practice. Right, yeah. So thank you very much. Please do like and subscribe, and I would like to thank Jay and Evie and Kev for coming on tonight. Evie, any news on the launch?
It should be this weekend, but I also said that last weekend. So we'll see what actually happens. I'm trying to get it organised, but me being very I'm not very good with technology, so trying to do things on my own is quite challenging.
Yes, it is, and that's not an insult. I mean, it is genuinely for people.
Keep digging. Keep
please,
digging.
where can people find you then? Discourse of Peacocks on YouTube.
Yep, that's the one. That's the one.
That's the one. Anything coming up, Jay, on Ought to Know Better? You and the boys?
Oh, well, we've got the charity walk tomorrow morning, which is starting at about 7:30 a.m. So I'm not looking forward to that. Still don't know how I'm actually getting there yet. I'm probably going to have to drive to the start of it, do the walk, and then find my way back.
There's 2 7:30s in a day.
Mate, it's a surprise to me too. I didn't know that when I signed up.
But yeah, with chickens in your car anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, I know how to defeat them, so it's okay. But yeah, we're doing the walk for like Andy's Man Club, and it's like a almost 17-mile walk. I'm dreading it. I am not fit. I didn't want to do this.
It's all right. You'll be fine.
So
just
we've got
down
that.
The hills.
Yeah, probably after. We've got that, and that's coming up tomorrow. There's like stuff on our socials about it, but yeah, I don't know if there's a main pod coming this week or not because there's no game. So we'll see. It might be a week after. It might be. Just keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. If you don't already, please do go subscribe to their channel, Ought to Know Better Podcast. It's great stuff, great bunch of lads, and it's no different to this one, is it really? Kev,
very much same,
Sunday.
Yeah, we should be on. There's not. I guess we've just gone through a lot of it. What's happened already today. So yeah, maybe not. We don't know. We'll let everybody know, I guess. But yeah,
we'll see where the vibes take us. Once again, thanks very much. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode and you don't want to throw us in YouTube jail, please do like and subscribe. Hit that notification button, and there will be much more chaos to come. There will not be a episode next week because some selfish bastard has going on holiday. Don't blame me, blame the missus. Me. So we will be back the week after to talk about the game on the Friday night. So yeah, so hope you've enjoyed it. I'll drop a silly skit next week probably with Kev. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.